welcome back to the highly anticipated podcast. I'm your host Josh Raphael. Got my co-host Tyler Pouncey, Will Young. How y'all boys doing?
Man, it's great to be back.
Yeah, it's been a
It's
little
been a
minute.
Great to be
You know,
back.
we've all been busy, but we
Mhm.
here to make some time because we have a lot to talk about. It's been a
Yes, sir.
jam-packed week in the NFL. As you can look at Will, you can see he's very excited about the Lions winning this past week. I mean, yo, are them boys like Super Bowl contenders or what? Or is it too early to jump the gun?
Bro, no, it's not too early. Honestly, like, let me be calm and serious for a second. I've been trying to tell people like what it was with the Lions. So like this is no shock to me. I knew they were gonna beat the Chiefs with Kelsey, without Kelsey, with well, ain't no option. With Chris, without Chris, doesn't matter. The Lions are not what CJ DJ say? We are not the same. We're not the same.
He
Two
did say
masks
that.
up. Mine is
So
in the mail
you know,
actually right now.
that
I'm
really
weak.
does bring me that's perfect because that brings me right to like my first question. Obviously, we just gonna jump off and start with the Lions. Obviously, so let me ask you: after watching that game, I'll start with you, Tyler. Would you say that the Chiefs lost that game or the Lions won that game?
I should pull out the Russell Westbrook that question.
Choose your words.
But
Choose your words carefully.
you crazy. Um, I mean, obviously there were some big injuries on the Chiefs side. Granted, it's the NFL. Next person got to step up. So I really wouldn't say. I mean, the Lions went out and fought hard. Like they had to earn that dub. Granted, the Chiefs made a lot of mistakes, but it's not like the Lions didn't do what they were supposed to do. Like they had turnovers. Golf played a well game manager game as he does every game. So I feel like the Lions won that. But I think it would have been way different, obviously, if Chris Jones and Travis Kelsey played. That's two out of your top three players that didn't play. But the Lions
How
definitely
different?
gained some of my respect. Huh?
How different? How different would it have been?
It would have been harder for the Lions to score and easier for the Chiefs to score.
Well, I'm
Like,
asking like in terms of like outcome. Like, what do you?
it would have been probably Chiefs like 35,
Okay,
20,
let's move on.
17.
Let's move on.
So,
What was
what
you
about
saying?
I'm
you,
being
Will?
honest.
Will, what you think?
Okay.
Will? What you think? I'm intrigued to hear this.
No, it really doesn't matter. I'm glad that the Lions have earned some of Tyler's respect. Finally, it's about time that the world got to see that Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback. Despite not having one of his greatest games, he made plays were needed.
Mhm.
Critical third downs. Amon-Ra showed that he is a top 10 wide receiver. I'm not sure who thought that
Mm,
maybe that he wasn't or whatever. Well, you can. It doesn't doesn't really matter. He is a top 10. Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, this guy's so explosive. I'm so excited for what he's gonna do for this team. They Dan Campbell's just waiting to unleash him. He hasn't even begun to start. Uh, he hasn't even touched his potential, I don't think, with that team. David Montgomery looks great. Um, Looks like he slimmed down a little bit, so that was good. He was getting a little chunky there for a moment on the Bears. But obviously, things are different when you come to the Lions. We have higher expectations, higher standards. We work harder, we work better, we're stronger, we're smarter. I mean, all those things put together, we're just a championship. We're a Super Bowl contending team. That's just what it comes down to. Our deep, we didn't even have Emmanuel Mosley in our secondary, but our secondary was playing absolutely fantastic. Okay, our D line was incredible. You got our rookie linebacker going out there making plays. Okay, you
mhm.
got second year players making big stops. Shout out my boy Josh Pascal from Kentucky making plays on critical third downs. Listen, man, we're prepared. You got Dan Campbell setting the tone. How about that? Going for it on fourth down, back on our own 20. Who's gonna do that? Who in the league is gonna do that? Let's be real. Who's gonna do that? Nobody. It's the Lions. It's different. It's a different mentality. It's a creative offense. It's a well-rounded offense. It's a highly improved defense. I think sky's the limit for this team. Honestly, we're gonna win this week when we beat the brakes off the Seahawks. They don't stand a chance after what I seen them do against the Rams. So, I mean, I'm just excited, man. I'm looking forward to a probably close to undefeated season. So it's gonna be nice.
Okay, let's tone it down a little bit by undefeated. But I'm man enough to admit, when I may have been wrong or a little harsh.
Mm-hmm.
I might be partially because I drafted Jared Goff on my fantasy team, so I mean I'm rooting for the Lions via him. But yeah, I was impressed. I was impressed with how they played against the Chiefs. Like Will alluded to, I mean defensively they were everywhere. Obviously Goff didn't have the best game, but I mean he did everything he had to do without turning the ball over. Gibbs is going to be one of the most explosive players in the league, with more touches, more, once he gets more comfortable, etc. And Amon-Ra he's a top 10 wide receiver. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. I'm gonna jump on that right now. From what I saw, he is a top 10 wide receiver. He's 10 though. Like I'll give him like 10, maybe 9, but I'll put him in there because he's shown that he's very, capable of, leading a team in terms of their leading receiver. But I'm impressed. I'm impressed for sure. I'm excited to see kind of how they do. Partially, like I said, because I drafted Jared Goff. So, I mean, he's starting for me. So I hope they do good. But yeah, but to go back to the question, I don't want to discredit what the Lions did, but I can't act like the Chiefs wide receivers were playing like they were blindfolded. I can't act like, and I don't want to, kick someone when they're already down. But Tony, I don't know if he had a lot going on in his head, etc. But there's a lot of crucial drops, including a drop that led to a pick six, which ultimately won you guys the game.
Shout out Brian Branch, straight out Alabama.
Sky Moore's dropping passes as well. It was just receivers dropping passes everywhere. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say Mahomes threw a perfect ball every single play. No, they weren't perfect every time, but still there were very catchable balls. And obviously, when all those drops add up, it's hard to win like that. And the Lions, I'll give them credit. They capitalize on that. When it was 3 and out, or like you said, the Brian Branch pick six, they capitalized on those drops. So I would kind of go like half and half, but I would say more so the Lions won that just because of the fact, like I said, offensively, they drove. Defensively, the Chiefs did have other opportunities to score when they weren't dropping every single ball in America, but they didn't, because the Lions defense stayed solid. But like I said, I'm intrigued to see how the Lions do going forward. Super Bowl contender, I don't want to just say that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if after week 5 they are in a conversation.
No, you will. You'll be saying it soon. Just trust me. You too, Tyler.
That's debatable. I don't know about that, but kind of let's move to the next thing. Another big thing that happened in the NFL. It's a tough week to be a Jets fan. That's how I'm gonna start. It's very tough. The Jets were arguably considered Super Bowl contenders before that game, and 4 plays in, dreams shattered, odds change, everything. I'm gonna start with you, Will. Oh my gosh, like this is tough. Like it hurts me because 4 plays,
crazy,
4 plays is crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I'll start with you, Will. Is the Super Bowl hope for the Jets done?
Well, plainly put, absolutely. They just with Zach Wilson back there, they're obviously not as dynamic, far from accurate, and just not as good. And you're putting a lot of weight. The objective of Aaron Rodgers was to take some of the pressure off of a Super Bowl championship type defense, because that's what the Jets really do have. They have a championship type caliber defense. And so with the addition of Aaron Rodgers, that relieves some of that pressure, because now we can go down and score. The defense doesn't have to be on the field as much. And then on top of that, I mean, they brought in half the Packers for him, just in terms of chemistry, you know, all that stuff. And so basically, you now starting from square one again, because you're back with Zach Wilson. Okay, you got new receivers who Zach Wilson has no chemistry with, no connection with. Obviously, towards that second half, you know, he started to find Wilson a little bit more. Maybe Lazard ended up being one of his favorite targets, but it seems to me like the Jets are back at square one, with the defense probably thinking they gonna need us every single game. We got to be on our best. If we're gonna have even a shot to come out this division, to win the division, let alone come close to the Super Bowl, the defense got to be making plays, takeaways. I mean, think about it, bro. Like, they had 3 interceptions, and they were in that game, and it was still down to the wire, which says to me, if they don't have that type of game every single game, multiple takeaways, and then you have to capitalize on all of those takeaways, it's going to be a long season for the Jets, and it's going to be a lot of pissed people on the defense looking at Zach Wilson like, dang, here we are. We done did everything we could, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully they bring in some QB to at least, I don't know, maybe shake things up in the QB battle. But even then, with the free agents that are available right now, it's really not going to do much. I think all hope's kind of lost, you know. I think they'll rally around Zach Wilson and, you know, Coach Robert to say, oh, yeah, we behind him and all that stuff. And the team would be like, yeah, Two's our guy. But truth is, morale is just completely low on that team. The life got sucked out of MetLife. Pause. But yeah.
No pause.
Yeah, that's my takeaway. No pause. No, it did.
What about you, Ty?
Coming from like tearing my Achilles, which is what Aaron Rodgers did. I personally don't know how he's gonna, you know, bounce back. Some people don't know, some people do. Achilles is probably the worst leg injury you can have, and being a quarterback, you need your legs the most to throw. Obviously, you need your arm, but you got to throw through your legs. But
yeah, and he 86 years old.
So yeah, he's 30. Come on now, the man is 39. That makes it even worse. Like if he was 30, like 34, 35, maybe, but 39. I think he only had about 2 more years left anyways, and this kind of cuts that one down
regardless.
0. So Jets is done so. Just I feel sorry for Jets fans. I ain't never had a problem with Jets, so kind of I liked them. I thought they were gonna do decent. I kind of had them being like 3rd in the AFC, maybe 4th. So I wanted to see them compete, but yeah, unless they're able to make some blockbuster trade for a young quarterback that's better than Zach Wilson, I don't see it. This is going to be a rerun of last year for the Jets, and this is going to be a whole lot of defense and some trash offense with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. So, yeah, they might as well go ahead and chalk it up. Hope he has some magical recovery, but I don't really see them. Even next year, I don't really see them doing nothing there, especially if his Achilles ain't right. So,
yeah,
get well though, A-Rod.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I think it's chips. I think it's barbecue chips, Lay's chips, Ruffles chips. It's done for Jets fans. And I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan, but I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Obviously, you know, I'd love to see the Dolphins compete. I would have loved them to compete against the Jets. I thought that was going to be a great matchup, especially with Aaron Rodgers leading the Jets. But I mean, like Will alluded to, I mean, you brought him in basically to take that pressure off that defense, you know, give them a little cushion that, okay, we're going to get a stop and A-Rod's going to come down and score. You don't got that. And like I said, I don't have a problem with Zach Wilson. You know, I don't got no issue with him either, but he's not A-Rod. I don't know if he's too busy worrying about, hanging out hanging out with his friend, mom over there. I don't know what he got in his head, but regardless, like he's not, A-Rod. I would like to see him take a step forward this year, and I mean maybe he could be that guy. But as of right now, I don't see it. It just happened. I mean, the Jets just needed Josh Allen to. I don't know what he was throwing to. He probably had the Jets money line, so they needed Josh Allen to throw them the ball for them to win. Because if he doesn't throw 3 picks, that is a completely different game. And his picks weren't even like just great defensive plays. It was just him throwing into double coverage for no
Hail
reason.
Marys.
So
Stephon down somewhere.
yeah, so literally, I mean, those plays don't happen, and Josh Allen takes the check downs, and he, I mean, plays the game how he normally plays when he's good. And that's a totally different game, and I mean, the Jets aren't looking too good. But yeah, I just think it's done. I think all hope for a Super Bowl this year is done, or even a contention of Super Bowl is done. Don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, honestly. So obviously AFC East.
You saying no playoffs? That's interesting.
I don't think they're
That's
gonna make the
crazy.
playoffs.
I
Unless
think they
I
can
don't-
get 10.
I mean,
I think they
I
can get 10
think-
wins.
I mean it's gonna be tough because the Bills are gonna get their lick back. One, they not beating the Dolphins twice. So I mean, they're gonna have to have a really good record because they're gonna be third in the AFC East. So
They can get 10. They can get 10 wins.
and I mean that's if you never know. Kinfolk Mac might lead the Patriots, so you don't know what's gonna go on in that AFC East. So I mean, right now I don't see them in the playoffs. I just don't, because last year was the same situation. It was the defense playing out of their mind, but that only works so much. They can only do that so much. They can only get so many stops, and you're not scoring on offense. Like it's just, it's just not gonna work. I mean, they may very well make it, but I just don't see it right now unless Zach Wilson completely has a 360 transformation from last year, and the little that he played last game, I didn't really see that.
It looked the same.
And
it sure did.
Yeah. And another point too, like Tyler did bring up, and it's kind of like a 2-part question, like from the first question, kind of like, I mean, is A-Rod done? And honestly, I don't think he's gonna go out like that. I think he will, work hard to come back, and he'll probably play one more season, just to at least, give it a shot, because I mean, like you said, he doesn't know what his Jets career would have been like, you know what I mean? So I think he'll come back next year, and he'll come out guns a blazing. But I mean, yeah, I'll leave the floor up to you guys. I mean, Tyler kind of touched on a little bit, but I mean, what do you think? You think A-Rod's done?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's a competitor, a fierce competitor at the end of the day, and so I don't think he's gonna go out like that. Nobody wants that to be the last memory, especially with a career like Aaron Rodgers, where he's already kind of on like that borderline Hall of Fame. Has he really had a Hall of Fame career? Is he really those type of conversations? And I know he hears that stuff, even if he kind of acts like he blocks it out. But yeah, I think he'll come back, but in terms of how effective he'll be, because I mean that's a completely torn Achilles. So I don't know if it's just this year. I don't know if it's 18 months. So that that makes it's probably going to be the rest of this season as well as half of next season, at least before he's back to 100. So even if he does come back, I expect it to be like, I just want to say that I gave it all I had type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really expect nothing from it next year, honestly. I know we'll have some of the best doctors in the world working on him, but yeah, I think he'll come back, and I'll be happy for him. But
and I know we're
stay with the Packers.
Yeah, so he could give your line some more trouble. But
well, we actually beat them twice.
It was a good thing that he left for y'all. I'm just saying that was like a good thing that he left.
Yeah, because he was ducking the NFC North. But I don't want to talk bad about. Yeah, I don't want to talk bad about. Don't make.
I don't know if he was ducking, but
Well, when you lose twice,
I think it was best for y'all that he left. So, anyways, that's besides the point. I mean, we are talking about the AFC East, and
I don't want to get.
I mean, we got to talk about the best team in the AFC East right now, and that's
Here we go.
Ooh, that's a hot
Here
take.
we go. Where we going? Where we going?
No, I'm just gonna sit. No, I was just gonna say. I was just gonna sit back and let you.
We talk about Super Bowl contenders, right? And obviously,
Hold on.
I mean,
let's
the
relax,
Dolphins are
buddy.
Super Bowl contenders. What? Relax. What?
All right.
The Dolphins
If
are
the
Super Bowl
Lions-
contenders.
If the
Let's
Lions
calm
Super Bowl
down.
contenders,
Yup.
the Dolphins Super Bowl contenders.
If the Lions are Super Bowl contenders, the Dolphins
Yeah.
are 100% Super Bowl
The
contenders.
Dolphins
Yeah,
No
defense
question.
can't even touch the Lions at this
I
point. in
don't
time.
care. We have the
Your
best
defense
offense
is
in the
That's
non-existent.
league.
crazy.
We have the
I
best
know.
offense in the league.
You
We have the
do.
best
You
offense in
do.
the league.
You probably have the
Who
most
better than us?
explosive.
Off 1 week? Off 1 week though?
Right now, we have the best offense in the league. Tell me
It's
otherwise.
one
Say
game.
most. Let's
Who
say
has a
most
better offense?
explosive.
It's not the
It's
Bengals.
one game. I didn't
not
say
the
it was
Bengals.
us, but it's one game.
Josh,
We're gonna talk
We
about
scored
them
3
next.
points.
We're gonna talk about them next.
I don't want to know what happened with them boys
We're
though,
gonna talk-
because
We're gonna
that's
talk about
crazy.
them next.
Like,
Oh, we can
no,
talk
but
about
what happened to
it now.
the
Go ahead.
but what happened to the
Come
Bengals
on.
though?
what
So,
happened?
like,
What
the Brown,
happened?
okay, let me break it down for you.
What
I gotta
happened?
know
The
What
Brown,
happened?
listen. Since the Browns got Baker Mayfield, that has been their Super Bowl every year. If you go back and look, they don't play nobody else as hard as they play the Bengals. I don't understand what it is. Baker Mayfield turns into Tom Brady. Myles Garrett turns into Lawrence Taylor now. Denzel Ward turns into Deion Sanders. I don't know what it is. It's every Browns game. So I don't get it.
Baker not
last year
there
was the
though.
first- Huh?
Baker not there though. We talking about like
No.
last week.
Well, Deshaun ain't do damn nothing in that last game. It was Nick Chubb in the defense. So
And
I
y'all lost
don't want to
24
hear
to
that.
3.
Yeah, we got locked up. Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome and that other corner, I think it's Emerson. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but it's
Damn.
some Emerson had them three in a box. I ain't never seen a man get 10 plus targets.
I ain't
and get
gonna lie though.
catches. No
Y'all
catches.
division kind of crazy now. Like where I'm really
Yeah.
thinking
We know
about
who
it.
gonna,
Like
we know who gonna
Well,
win the
yeah,
division.
we know who's gonna win
The
the division.
Browns gonna come. The Browns gonna come back to reality. The Ravens already hurt.
The
And
Ravens.
the Steelers. The Ravens don't even have their starting players.
They're going
Come
to win
on,
that
bro.
division, and that's
How
why
you
I
gonna win?
said
How you
that's
gonna
why
win without
that's
no
why
How you gonna win without your starting safety, your starting center?
that's why
and your
that's why
starting running
prior
back?
to the
Come
season
on.
I said the Ravens were going to win the division.
Put
because
bread on
at the
it.
end
Put
of the
bread on
day-
it. Put
At
bread
the
on
end
it.
of the at the end of the day,
No. Forget the end of the day. Put bread on it.
At the end of the can I finish? At
No,
the end of the day,
put
I
some
was
money
saying
on
the
it.
Bengals just aren't like that, you know.
But the Ravens are the ones.
The Ravens
the
are.
dudes,
I think.
but they choke in
I
the
think-
playoffs the past 4 years. They didn't choke every year in the playoffs, and they the ones.
yeah,
that's
but we
like-
just talking about who in the
Yeah.
division right now. We're
Yeah,
not really
I mean,
talking about like, the playoff.
yeah. I mean, your quarterback got outplayed by Kenny Pickett, and you're acting like as if that's
and
not
they both
a little
lost.
bit.
So your point is
Right. No, but I'm saying, but you can't just put it
off
under
one
the
game.
umbrella
Come on,
of.
bruh.
I listen. I hear you. I do. But you just can't put it under the umbrella of, oh, this is the Browns Super Bowl. That's really not enough. For
It
me,
is
because Myles
It don't-
Garrett
it
was
don't
playing
gotta- it
2K
don't
on
gotta
the
be enough
field,
for you. That's what it is.
and it's getting. I mean, you allowing players to actually play air basketball to get to your quarterback. He did an
Well,
AI
I'm
cross.
not allowing it. My name not Ted Karras.
No, I get
didn't
it.
do it.
I
Miles,
know what you're
and
saying.
Myles
What
Garrett
I'm
will do
saying.
that to the Lions times 10. So what's your point?
Yeah, well, I'm just
Myles
saying
Garrett.
to allow that, and then it's
I didn't allow it.
really
I wouldn't have allowed
man,
it.
Yeah. Some
Look,
gotta,
let's
uh,
okay. We ain't
I'd
even
have
gonna talk
hit him
about
on the
that.
knees.
I don't even know. We're not talking about the Bengals right now. I mean, like respectfully, let them win the game first, and then we'll talk about.
Yeah,
like, we're not gonna
yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
that
that's
right
good
now.
call. Good
One
call.
game is.
I
Good
said
call, good call.
respectfully. I said respectfully. Like,
hey, the
oh my
if we
God.
going off one game, the Dolphins done won the Super Bowl and they beat the Lions. Y'all going off one game.
I just said
Listen,
respectfully.
Listen. We started off 0-2 last year, and we seen what happened. That's all I'm gonna say. They won.
Well,
they
what
ended up-
happened?
They ended up
What
winning 10
happened?
games straight. What you mean? While the Lions was at home watching,
Okay.
watching. While the
All
Dolphins
right.
was at home
All right.
watching.
All right.
Listen,
All right. Well,
No,
now
don't say
y'all
all
watch
right.
it.
Don't say all right. Don't say
Now
all
y'all
right.
watch it.
Y'all done got
so
me
now-
riled up. I tried to be nice. I tried to
Hey.
give y'all the right answer.
let's
The podcast
let's
answer.
go
No.
back. Let's
Yeah,
go
let's
back
go back.
to the
I feel
to
like we
my
should
my
dedicate
question.
this episode to winning teams. Probably is
My
probably best.
question.
All right,
Let's
we'll
go
see.
back.
I bet we got a better record than the Lions by the end of the year. No, don't, Josh. You done got me started. I tried to be nice. I bet you got a better
Bro.
record than the Lions this year. Will over there
Okay.
talking after one game.
Okay, that's good. So the Dolphins
All right.
have the most
Can we
most
listen?
explosive offense.
No,
not
listen.
best.
This is what I was getting to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Sorry.
essentially, obviously, I get it. It's one game. Obviously, it's a 17 game season. It's a long season. And there have been some betting odds for MVP that have came out, and I believe I want to say Barstool Gambling tweet out that Tua was the odds favorite as of right now. So I kind of want to pick your brain on that. Like, what do you think? You think Tua? I mean, does he have a chance to win MVP, or is this just a 1 week wonder? I'll start with you, Tyler.
The day I bet money on Tua winning MVP, I feel like I have to check myself into a mental facility. Tua is a great quarterback. But
That's a crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Wow.
But like Tua winning MVP, and maybe
Why
I'm
would
just
he not
tripping.
be able to?
Oh my God.
I'm asking you, why would he not be able to?
though.
He has the most explosive receiver in the NFL. He has another explosive receiver in Jalen Waddle. I mean, he threw for 466 yards. Tyreek's saying he gonna get 2,000 yards this year, and I guarantee you, Tyreek gets 2,000 yards. Tua has to be slinging some crazy stats.
Y'all played the Chargers, right? I just asked a question.
Yes,
and they can't cover. They can't cover a hotel bed. So I don't understand why you so hyped.
But why are you? But that doesn't matter though. You can't just.
It does.
Not every quarterback
can't
going to throw
cover
400.
nobody.
Not every quarterback going to throw 466 yards against the Chargers. I can guarantee you that.
Bro,
not every quarterback's doing that.
I bet 10 can. I bet 10 can.
I bet you they don't. I bet you they don't. I bet you. I was gonna say something.
We know Joe Burrow not in there because he couldn't even throw. Oh, my fault. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Go back. Sorry.
That's two different. That's two different defense. One is
my
top
fault.
five, one is bottom five.
No.
I'm just saying.
Fault,
I bet Jared
fault.
Goff won't. I bet Jared Goff won't.
My fault.
Listen,
bro.
Okay, Tyler.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. I bet Jared Goff won't.
My fault. So
Tyler, finish.
Mm-hmm.
What you think?
I don't think it's about 5 or 6 people I could think of winning MVP before Tua, but he did go crazy week 1, so I just got to see if he sustained it. I know the rest of the quarterbacks that's in front of him going to sustain it. Shit, Josh Allen winning MVP before Tua, so I don't think Tua got the chance.
Wow.
He shouldn't be the lead.
Why
favorite.
though? Do you see that? Because if you really break down the stats, Tua statistically is better than Josh Allen. If you break it down, Josh Allen's actually a turnover machine. He's a turnover machine, and that's been over the past 3 years. Bro, you know what? Matter of fact, why I'm even talking about that? Matter of fact, we just pull it up.
Right,
we don't even gotta talk about it.
But
we don't even gotta talk about it.
More touchdowns last year. I bet you he did.
Yeah, that's nice to have. If you have 29 touchdowns, 18 picks, why does that even matter? Obviously, he's gonna have more. Last year, Tua was out 7 games. Tua was concussed.
Okay. Well, then we can't bring nothing up then. So if you're gonna bring up the injuries, then Josh Allen was throwing with a damn torn UCL. I don't know if you know, but you can't. No. You just did he not just bring up the concussions?
He did bring up
but he still played. He still played though. But he still played though.
Okay.
He still
torn
played.
UCL. Do you know how important?
Then he should have
UCL
sat down.
Quarterback.
He should have sat down.
Yeah, and then y'all would have called him soft and all that. Bro, you can barely throw with a torn UCL.
Last year in 13 games, Tua had 25 touchdowns and 8 picks. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mind you, 13 games. So let's look at what Mr. UC whatever had. He had 35 touchdowns, 14 picks, and he played all 17. So Tua had 10 less touchdown passes, and he missed 4 games.
It's Tua. I mean, I feel like that would add up. I feel like Tua would barely throw 10 touchdowns in 4 games. So
yeah, they would probably
that's
even
not
out.
really a big. That's probably not even a big gap. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
No, that's a good point.
It's not like Tua had 32 touchdowns in 14 games. He had, what'd you say?
And really, one of the games, actually, he played only 1 quarter. That was against your guys when you guys concussed him.
Don't say you guys concussed him because his punk ass.
That's what you did. That's what you did.
Fire the athletic training staff. They should have.
No, you concussed him. You concussed him because we was finna fight. We was finna fight that. Oh my God, we was finna light y'all up. You lucky we could cut. You guys concussed him. You made us have to put in Teddy Bridgewater.
Nobody worried about no Dolphins, but continue.
Wow.
That's
what we
kind
got
of
next?
crazy. That's kind of crazy because you guys probably won't even win the division. But anyways, I mean,
You know,
and neither will y'all. So, and y'all probably won't win the division. So the
that's
same
know,
stuff you say about my team, I can
debatable.
say
That's
about yours because the
Yeah,
Bills
but I
played
mean,
in the
but
division
but
just
we
for
won
once.
36-34 our
Mhm.
first, like, we in the shootout with one of
And
the
we
best
lost.
offenses and with one of the
We
best
lost the first 2
offenses in the
games
league.
last year. I'm not worried.
And you guys lost 24-3
Yep.
to the
We
Cleveland
got lost.
Browns.
We've lost to the Browns the last 6 times out of the last 7 games. I don't know why people are surprised.
That's not a
I don't
that's
know
not
why people
good.
are surprised. But
So
what did
basically,
the
you're
Browns do?
saying that
When was the last time the Browns did something in the playoffs, though? Oh, damn. They ain't had a playoff win since I've been alive. Don't make that face, because I told you, they are worried about beating the Bengals. That's it.
I
They are
mean,
not
here's
worried
my
about nothing
thing.
else. They're not worried about nothing else.
Wow. Those
They're not
bingo
worried about
cats.
nothing else.
All right, let's go to the next. Let's
It's
go to
one
the next.
game,
Well,
bro.
no, Will.
One
Will,
game.
did you answer what you
Well,
said? Did you answer, Will? I don't even know if you.
honestly, I don't have much to say about this. I will say Tua is definitely one of the. At this point, we can probably say, when healthy, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in this league, and he's one of the best. I
Wow,
don't know
but
why. I don't.
why did you
I
just
I
know,
do
didn't
but
say
that?
I didn't say anything.
I know
I didn't say
it's
I'll
just
anything.
continue.
the
I'll
facial
continue.
expression of you doing this. I don't know why you
I
did
ain't
that.
say
I'll-
nothing.
I'll
I ain't say
continue.
nothing, bro.
And he's easily got to be one of the best deep ball throwers in the league at this point. Now, I will say this: if ah, ah, okay, I will say this though:
Yeah.
if Tyreek is to have 2,000 receiving yards, the MVP should absolutely 100% not go to Tua. It should go to Tyreek. That is not
Not mad at that.
if
Not mad at that.
Tyreek has $2,000, it's not a result of Tua completely. I'm not just going to disrespect Tua and say, oh, he had nothing to do, because obviously he does. But
I'm
it'll
not
be
mad at that.
more. It would be like
But
60-40.
we know how it
Tyreek.
is though. We know it's gonna. This is how it would. If that actually were to happen, Tua would win MVP and
Yes, it's a
Tyreek would win
quarterback.
offensive.
It's
Tyreek would
player
win
of the
offensive
year.
player of the year.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
how it's
quarterback
gonna go.
award.
Even though I agree with you. I do think if Tyreek does get to 2, I mean he probably should get that, but they won't give that to him. They just won't. I mean, is it
Tyreek
crazy
kinda
to say?
makes Tua.
Is it kind of crazy to say? Like that. Tua was more accurate than Joe Burrow. I'm just throwing something out there. I'm asking. I don't
didn't
know
say
if that's
nothing. I didn't say anything. I didn't say
you just
anything.
dropped something though, so I didn't know.
I didn't drop anything. I don't got nothing in my hand, bro.
Well,
I'm
I
Is
just
that
would
crazy?
probably no, at this point, honestly, because here's how I look at it. If you give Tua that wide receiving core,
Here we
I
go.
mean, by now they probably, my guess is they probably win a Super Bowl by now. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that. You give a lot of quarterbacks that wide receiver. I mean, Tua's only got 2. You got to think about it. He's putting up the numbers. He's only got 2 for real. He's got Tyreek and he's got Jalen. And so,
And
Josh
not to
Fleming got
mention
next.
and
Josh
not
Fleming got next.
I just want to throw and not to mention though, the Bengals do have a pretty good running game with Joe Mixon, so that does help as well. You can go.
yes.
You can go, Tyler.
So,
You
I
rub
don't
your hands
think.
like an evil villain. No.
Yeah. No, I ain't say nothing. I ain't even say nothing yet. We forgetting Joe Burrow had knee surgery. He has one of the worst offensive lines in the past 2 seasons. Don't make that face. He had to have every single ligament in his knee fixed. Don't make that face. And second of all, we've seen how his offensive line has treated him the past 2 years. So I don't want to hear if he would have had this receiving core, then he would have won the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear that because there's factors to stuff. Y'all just saying if he would have had this, he had every single from the Super Bowl run, every single offensive line or offensive lineman on that line is not in the NFL anymore. Do y'all know that? Like none of them. You know how bad that is, and it wasn't like they retired. They are free agents, all of them, and they had to get blocked. They had to block Aaron Donald. So,
aside from Armstead, is Tua's offensive line considered good?
Connor Williams is one of the best centers in the league. So. Don't
clearly,
make that
clearly,
face.
clearly they're not that good since he got concussed 3 times. Clearly they're not that good.
He's not going down. He's not going down. So tell him to go to hell down.
I'll let you finish. So the offensive line.
The offensive line is terrible.
Okay.
No, say it. Say it.
No. You're good. You're good.
The offensive line Joe Burrow has had has been terrible. This is the first year it's actually any remotely decent.
It has been terrible, but let's not act like if you're comparing the Dolphins offensive line to the Bengals offensive line, like it's like night and day difference. Like it's not. It's better. The Dolphins
worst offensive line. What are you talking
about? The Dolphins have a better offensive line, but it ain't like
it's it's night and it's day
it's
and
not
midnight.
night and day. It's not
maybe night and day.
Yeah, it's not night and day.
Night. Sacked 9 times in the playoffs.
Night and late afternoon.
You know how many he got sacked 20 times in the playoffs. He played 4 games. What do you mean it's not night and day?
Night and noon.
9 sacks. Bro. He got sacked 9 times and 7 times in the playoffs. Y'all are saying that's not night and day. I don't think anybody else in the NFL got sacked over 5 times all year. But that's not night and day. Y'all don't watch, bro. Did y'all see the Super Bowl? Aaron Donald was eating in the middle.
What do you mean by that, though?
Y'all weren't watching the offensive line. I was watching. Like
I'm not denying that they are bad. Like the Bengals offensive line is bad.
I
wouldn't say
yes,
that.
It was. Yes, it was. Joe Burrow had the worst offensive line in the NFL. None of them from 2021 are in the NFL. None of them. Right. Not one of them.
You're right.
I'm always right. I know I'm right.
I just wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
that. I agree.
Here, go look at the stats from.
I'm looking up PFF right now.
And look at the grades from 2021. None of them.
I just want to look. I'm just reading something. I'm just reading something.
I'm telling you what it's going to say. All of their grades are going to be below 6.
It's kind of. I don't know. I mean, PFF has the Dolphins' offensive line ranked 20th, right? And he has the Bengals ranked. They have the Bengals ranked 17th.
What is this? What year is this from? Last year or 2020? I'm talking about 2021. They had the
worst. Why are we talking about 2 years ago though?
Because that was the worst. That's when he was getting killed. You bring it up.
I thought we were talking about last year.
Oh, you're talking about he would have won a Super Bowl by now if he would have had the Bengals receiving core, right?
I mean, what? Yeah, he probably right. You act like they couldn't have won the Super Bowl last year.
No,
did last year just disappear?
That line was still bad.
Now Tyler, it sounds to me like now I'm starting.
What are y'all talking about?
2 years ago, I'm right.
2 years. This is the best.
2 years ago, I'm right with you. But
come on, bro. That line with Jonah Williams and Lyle Collins. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying PFF. They pretty reliable. They got the Bengals 17th.
Go look at the 2021 year and tell me what grade was it.
I'm not talking about
Pro Football Focus.
So why are we talking
about 2 years ago?
You said if he would have won the Super Bowl or with that line or with that
the Bengals, right? The Bengals couldn't have won last year. They couldn't have made it to the Super Bowl last year.
You're saying Tua would have a Super Bowl with that receiving core, right?
Is that what yes, because he still would have been playing last year.
Joe Burrow was in the Super Bowl with that terrible line in 2021. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
That's why. I don't think you see his point. I don't think that was in 2021. Yes, right. You're right.
Factors. I know I'm
okay,
right.
but I'm saying
factors.
Oh my God. But I'm saying 2022 still happened though. Like it's like you're just skipping a year.
What I'm saying.
All right, let me explain to it. He's essentially trying to say from that 2021 span to 2023 right now, Tua would have won at least one Super Bowl during that span. Doesn't have to just be in 2021. It could be in 2022.
Okay, and I'm saying Joe Burrow would have won the Super Bowl with a better line. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. Y'all are going around tiptoeing around the damn fact. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He had the worst offensive line in the NFL. Yeah. That was terrible.
Well, at the end of the day, we're gonna. You know
what?
If they don't win if the Bengals don't win the division, this year,
put some money on it.
About.
Are you putting money on it or not?
Money.
I'm probably going. I don't.
Do you want to put money on it? I just need a yes or no. No. That's it. I just want a yes or no.
All right. Listen. All right, we've been on this too long. We get it. They have the worst O line. Yes, you're right. 100%. All right, yeah. They got two is more accurate. It's fine.
No, he's not.
Anyway,
no, he's not.
Let's go over. As we start reaching toward some of the end. We got like 2 more things to talk about. So obviously, we kind of touched on, some of the, good performances, some injuries, etc. from this past week. Let's kind of start. I mean, I'll start with you, Tyler. Who would you say in terms of which team would you say had the best overall performance from opening weekend?
Probably the Dolphins. They play good. The defense is missing Ramsey. I feel like once they get Ramsey back, it'll be a whole nother level to
Man,
that
you just did
to
all
that
this
defense.
about the Dolphins, and then you gonna say
I never
Here we
discredited
go.
them. I don't know where that
all
came
right,
from.
and then you gonna choose the
All
Dolphins.
right,
Go
so
ahead,
say
my
the
fault,
best,
cause
and then
Y'all were
say who
attacking the Bengals.
say who had the worst as well. Like who had the worst
Bengals
performance in your
by
eyes.
far. It was terrible. Offense didn't do nothing. Defense played good. Joe Burrow looked like a JV quarterback Sunday.
I've
Hopefully
seen better
they bounce.
JV quarterbacks.
Can I finish? Jesus
God.
Christ!
Oh, sorry, my
You
fault,
act
bro.
you
It's
act
not.
like I
I'm
said
letting
he played good.
my fault, bro. I'm letting my
Damn.
intrusive thoughts win, bro.
No,
My
you hating
fault,
because
bro.
Jared Goff had one good game. But
My
anywho,
fault.
back to what I was saying before Dooley interrupted. Joe Burrow played like dog manure. I've never seen a receiving core get locked up like that in my life. I didn't think an NFL quarterback could throw for under 100 yards. Um,
He threw
if
for under
nothing
100.
else, he threw for 82 passing yards, bro. 82.
Lord have mercy.
82 with a 52.3 quarterback rating, 52.4, something like that. That's the worst game I've seen watching live. Like, they couldn't move the ball. It was bad. The only person that looked remotely ready for football was Joe Mixon. It wasn't too much. Defense looked good. I mean, you can't really stop Nick Chubb. I don't give a damn what you say. So,
Yeah.
but besides Joe
Is that free
Burrow
training?
yeah, you can't stop him. But besides Joe Burrow and the three receivers getting locked up, like El Chapo, Guzman, it was bad to watch. It was just terrible. I'm glad we see them again though, because that shit was terrible. But yeah, Dolphins probably had the best game. Bengals by far had the worst. I don't know why people are saying the Bears. The Bears are dog. Y'all know what? But the Bengals are supposed to be good, and they scored 3 points.
They are dog. I'm glad you said that. That's your quarterback.
I didn't
What
say that's
about
my
you?
quarterback.
What about you,
I
Will?
never said that.
Wow. Best performance this weekend. I mean, I hate to be biased, obviously here, but
21 points is the best performance. It's crazy.
do you hear that? How about those Lions? Honestly, no, seriously. If we're talking overall team, I get that you, from offensive standpoint, probably the Dolphins. Yes, that was just immaculate performance by both Tua and Tyreek. But we all know that their defense is hot garbage. So if we're talking overall best team performance, you have to go to Lions, offensively and defensively. Offensively, wasn't not saying it was the best game, but you get a team haven't had any primetime games in a year. Last year, 0 primetime games. Counting
Deservedly.
out walking, yeah, walking the Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs on opening night. I mean that. I don't know. There's not many teams that's gonna do that. Regardless of Kelsey, regardless of Chris Jones, there's not many teams that's gonna do that. I wanna.
Regardless is crazy.
You could say best overall performance is the Cowboys, but offensively, they didn't look great either. They're not good either. So that defense completely carried them. Worst performance, as much as I want to say the Bengals, obviously, because I actually have a little cousin. He plays Pop Warner, QB. Actually, I saw him actually throw for more than Joe Burrow on Sundays. But
His little last to get
beside,
locked up if he was getting guarded by Denzel Ward.
I get that.
There we go. Just making sure.
I completely get that. But it's honestly a toss up for me between the Steelers and the Giants. I mean, Giants, I really don't even have to say much. 40 zip. I don't care if it was raining or what it was. If it was Hurricane Katrina, I don't care. It's still both teams out there playing.
Wow.
There's no reason sorry, I didn't mean to make that Katrina.
No.
But my fault.
Gasoline
but
draws. Gasoline draws.
but I'm saying there's no excuse for the Giants to literally. I mean, towards the end of that game, it felt like every time they touched the ball, that thing was popping out. Like it was just like ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was horrible to watch. It was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah.
They played horrible.
Yeah. I agree.
Same for Kenny. Same for Kenny Pickett. Absolutely horrible. But I'm gonna give it to the Giants because I expected more from the Giants. I don't expect much from Kenny Pickett. And their average team, average receiving core, just average all around. So
Yeah,
expected a little bit more from the Giants.
I ain't mad at that. Best performance overall team wise. Obviously, like Will alluded to, they didn't really look good offensively, but I would say the Cowboys. I mean, they dominated special teams defensively, and although they didn't look the best offensively, I mean, they still got the job done where it could. I mean, Pollard had 2 TDs, and I mean they waxed the Giants 40-0, and I'm not going to say and act like the Giants are just terrible. They made the playoffs last year, so we can't just talk about them like they're 2-15. So they have Saquon. Daniel Jones is still a little, fraudulent to me, but I mean, they got it done last year. So for the for the Cowboys to come out opening night and handle them like they did, was a sight to see. So I would give it to the Cowboys. I would say the Cowboys had the best performance just because, like, overall team wise, just from all aspects of the game. I mean, they dominated from coin toss to post-game interviews. Now, worst team performance? That's a little tough. Because there are a couple teams that I was like, you guys suck. Obviously the Giants. I want to say the Giants, but I just think, I don't know. I think the Cowboys just played out their mind. So I mean, especially when you're getting 2 touchdowns just off special teams alone, I mean, you already know what type of game it's gonna be. So I'd probably go Bengals only because of the standard that I hold the Bengals. Obviously coming into this year, I mean, I was with Tyler. I said they'd win the division, make a playoff run. So for them to come out the way they did, only scored 3 points, Burrow throwing under 100 yards, which is very not like him. I mean, that just wasn't good, So I'd probably say they had the worst performance just because of the standard and where I hold them. I mean, that's nothing like them at all, I mean, the Giants are the Giants. Although they made the playoffs last year, I'm not like surprised that happened. The Bengals, that surprised me. But yeah, I'd probably say best overall performance would be Cowboys, and worst performance would definitely be the Bengals. And that kind of brings me to my last topic before we sign off, so we can go watch some Thursday night football. I hope AJ Brown.
Yes, sir.
Right now. We've been talking about a lot of quarterbacks, So we know we're gonna bring back the infamous start bench cut right now. Right now, like
week 1
today. We're not thinking of every 3 years ago, 2021, whatever you kept talking about. But we talk about right this instant. And it's crazy because I really want to use these 3 quarterbacks, but I know it's really gonna be biased for us 3. But you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Start bench cut right now. Tua, Joe Burrow, and Jared Goff. I'll start with you, Tyler.
Burrow, Tua, and Jared Goff. that was easy. Yeah.
What about you, Will?
Wow, that was easy for you. I'm not gonna be biased here. I'm gonna go to a number 1. Jared Goff number 3. My cousin that plays Pop Warner at 3, and then Joe Burrow at 4.
If we going off right now, I'm talking about this present moment in time, I'm gonna start Tua, bench Goff, and cut Joe Burrow. Mind you, I'm talking about right now. I'm basing this off a week.
We can cut. Can I get this clip, please, for the love of everything that's holy?
Yeah, you can get it. I'm basing this off a week.
Yeah,
I'm basing this off.
Yeah. This is gonna be interesting because Jared Goff's gonna have more. Jared Goff gonna have more passing yards than Burrow this year. Believe that. Clip that, please. Clip it.
I'm
And we're-
basing this off
and
one
we're
week.
actually gonna win the division. I agree. Two will
Do
start.
you keep okay, Josh? How many times have
Two
I
will
asked
start.
this man to put some
Golf
bread on
bench.
it? Put some money on it. I got
What,
how much
like
you want to
what?
put on it? Whatever you
Oh,
want to,
yeah.
because you keep saying it. How much you
What
want to put
about
on
like
it?
a Happy Meal? Like a Happy
I
Meal?
don't even eat McDonald's, so try something else.
Well, that's not fair. I like McDonald's, so okay.
Shit.
You know,
we
I
can put
actually have a good bet. I have a good bet for both of y'all. Actually,
Good bet. I like
the
it. Okay.
loser has to buy the other person like a jersey of their quarterback.
You know, mess some Nike jerseys.
Jersey expensive. Yeah.
I mean,
How about
you're
a
saying
t-shirt?
bread. So
How
y'all
about
scary.
a t-shirt? Let's go. Let's
So
go
y'all
t-shirt. Let's go
scary.
t-shirt.
$120. That you buying? All right,
Bro,
you
you
buy
got
me.
all year
You
to
buy
pay.
me
You got all
100.
year to save up for it. You got all year to save up for
I'm
it.
not
let's-
buying another
let's
man
do-
$120 jersey, Josh. You can try
Yeah,
something
that's
else.
crazy. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Let's do it. Let's
Just some merch.
Let's do it. Just some any type of
Yeah.
merch.
All right,
And you
bet.
gotta take a video with that merch saying that the other team is better than your favorite
I like
team.
that.
That's it.
I like that.
Simple as that.
I like
What
that.
they
I
got
like
to
that.
do?
I like that.
I'm cool with that, but what they got to do with the Ravens though? Like, I'm
What
betting
you
on the
mean?
Ravens. Are we betting on? Like, I got the Bengals. You said the Ravens winning our division.
Correct.
What they got to do with the Lions? If we're talking about the Ravens, though?
Okay.
That's what I was just saying. Do like $20-$25.
That's just not as it's not as exciting to me. Like $20 you can get over with the next payday. I want you to suffer with something. You know what I mean? Like I want you to really,
Bro, like you
yeah.
said, just come on the pod and the person just say like I don't know, just like some,
say, hey, the Ravens
okay,
are.
I got you. If the Ravens win, I will come on the pod and say golf is better than bro. If the Ravens win the division,
But you gotta mean it though, like from your heart.
I'll never. It'll be a cold day in hell before I mean that, but it's the bet. So
See, then that's just.
you can post it. You can post it on social media. I don't know what else you want from me. I'm
I
giving
guess.
you.
Honestly,
It's hurting me in my
I'll take
soul to
it.
even say those words. Burrow in front of golf. That's crazy. I don't know or golf in front of Burrow. Excuse me. That's kind of hurting me in my heart. But yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you, man.
We just beat the Chiefs, and we had Amon-Ra, Khalif Raymond, and Josh Reynolds. Somehow,
Oh my
you
god! All
couldn't-
right, guys. Hey, we're not gonna because I know this is gonna take this.
No, sorry. Yeah,
stuff.
let's just go ahead and cut.
Hey,
Let's go ahead and cut
golf
this.
would choke. Golf would choke regardless.
Hey,
of the playoffs.
man.
Like
Let's go ahead and cut it.
you don't see the
Look,
playoffs, Jared Goff.
here we go already.
Choking in the
Let's go ahead and
playoffs.
cut it.
All right, man.
Hey, does
it's
this
been
move
fun.
look familiar?
Yeah, and so does not winning the playoff game in 30 years. Win a playoff game
All
first.
right.
But come
All
on,
right.
Josh.
Okay, I got you.
All right,
I'm here.
man.
30
Appreciate.
30
Hey, man.
years.
I'm happy to be back. You know, I'm happy to be back. I know we've been busy, man. We gonna get this content out for you guys. It's gonna be a lot more content, obviously, with the season starting. You know, oh my gosh, we ain't even talk about Team USA losing. Oh my god.
Lord have mercy.
Hey, oh my god. I don't
That's gonna be
even
the next one.
Yeah, we gonna have to hold on to that. I know it's gonna be a little late, but we gonna have to hold on to that one. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I'm your host, Josh Raphael, my co-host Tyler Pouncey, Will Young. We gonna be back. Appreciate y'all. All right, see y'all next week.